If this video has come into your life, I want to tell you, it is not by chance. The universe works in mysterious ways, and everything happens for a reason. You are here because you are ready to hear this message. So let's dive into the world of possibilities and understand how you can harness the power of your mind to create the life you desire. In the quantum model of reality, when you are truly present, when you open your heart and maintain an elevated emotion, you start to expand the magnetic field around your body. This field can become as wide as 9 meters. When you do this, you are more energy than matter, more wave than particle, and you can have a greater impact on your reality. Think of your heart as a powerful center of energy. When you open it, it's like dropping a pebble into water, creating ripples. If you drop a bigger stone, you create bigger ripples. If you sustain that elevated state, it's like continuously dropping the same stone over and over, broadcasting a consistent signature into the quantum field. The emotion you feel is the magnetic charge, and your intention, your thought, is the information carried on that wave. When you combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion, you start to influence matter. We are not punished for our sins. We are punished by our sins. Sin is an attitude, a state of mind, how you think and feel. When you let go of guilt, shame, and unworthiness, and learn to open your heart, you create coherent waves in your brain and heart. This coherence produces miraculous changes. It takes practice and learning new information. It requires deprogramming ourselves from the belief that we are limited. If you are constantly stressed and have no energy, you cannot create an impact on matter. Life is about managing energy. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. If your attention is on the known, the predictable future, or the familiar emotions of the past, you are siphoning energy out of the present moment. You have no energy left to create a new future. When you master this practice, you will begin to create unknown and wonderful experiences in your life. It takes dedication, but it is possible. In our research, we have observed that when people reach a coherent level of brainwave patterns, they often slip into a theta state. This state is profound, and it leads to amazing transformations. When you reach the theta state during meditation, your body becomes very relaxed. Theta is a deep state of relaxation, almost like the state you're in just before you fall asleep or just as you're waking up. In this state, something amazing happens to your nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is the part of your body that gets you ready to take action. It's what makes you feel alert and ready to go when you need to run or fight. The parasympathetic nervous system, on the other hand, is like the brake pedal. It helps you relax and calm down. In everyday life, these two systems often work against each other, but in the theta state, they come into perfect balance. This balance is crucial for your meditation practice. When these two systems are balanced, it allows energy to flow smoothly through your body. This energy travels up your central nervous system, which is like the main highway of your body. It carries messages from your brain to the rest of your body and back again. This energy moving up the central nervous system is essential for reaching higher states of consciousness. As the energy moves up, it reaches the brain and activates something called the thalamic gate. The thalamic gate is a part of your brain that acts like a filter. It decides which information gets through to your conscious mind and which information stays in the background. When you're in theta, the thalamic gate opens up, allowing more information and energy to flow freely. Next, the energy activates the reticular activating system. This is another part of your brain that controls your level of alertness and awareness. It's what helps you wake up in the morning and stay focused throughout the day. In the theta state, the reticular activating system becomes more active, increasing your awareness and perception. Finally, this energy reaches the neocortex, which is the outer layer of your brain responsible for higher order functions like thinking, planning, and decision-making. When the energy reaches the neocortex, it produces something called gamma brainwave patterns. These gamma brainwaves are a sign of superconsciousness. They indicate that your brain is working at a much higher level than usual. In this state, the inner world becomes the real world. The experience is so profound that you never forget it. This is when you rewrite your mental programs. You see, the brain can enter a state of ecstasy, producing high gamma waves. When this happens, it is not a chemical reaction but an electromagnetic one. As this occurs, melatonin in the brain begins to change. It transforms into powerful neurotransmitters that are among the strongest antioxidants known to man. These chemicals have anti-aging, anti-cancer, and other health benefits. They enhance the body's ability to heal and rejuvenate. If you further tweak melatonin, it creates phospholuminescent chemicals similar to those found in electric eels. These chemicals cause neurons to glow with energy, creating vibrant colors and patterns in your inner vision. This is a time when the body is in stasis, with no sex drive or appetite, allowing for deep creative and transformative experiences. This state allows you to enter a dimension beyond space-time into time-space. This is the realm of mystical experiences, where you have visions and profound insights. These experiences have been talked about throughout history, and they can change you forever. When neurotransmitters change, they cause a shift in consciousness that can lead to incredible transformations. To demystify this process, it involves teaching people the right information and practices. Transformation happens when you apply what you learn and measure the results. In our advanced workshops, we teach people how to meditate deeply and reach these states of consciousness. Persistence is key to having these profound experiences. When you meditate, there comes a point when you want to give up. It feels like you can't go on any longer, like you're too tired or distracted. But this is a crucial moment. Most people stop here, thinking they've reached their limit. However, if you push past this point and keep going, something amazing happens. Imagine you're running a race. You get tired and feel like stopping, but if you keep running, you reach the finish line and feel a great sense of accomplishment. Meditation is similar. When you feel like giving up, it's like hitting a wall. But if you break through that wall, you enter a new state of being. This is where the magic begins. Continuing past the point of wanting to stop is where the real transformation happens. When you meditate a bit longer, you enter a deeper state of mind. It's like diving into a calm ocean. At first, you only see the surface, but as you dive deeper, you see the beautiful underwater world. In meditation, this deeper state is where you experience the light show. The light show is not just a visual experience, it's a profound shift in your awareness. You start to feel more connected to everything around you. Your body feels relaxed, and your mind becomes clearer. You might see colors or patterns, but more importantly, you feel a sense of peace and joy. This magical state is where your true transformation occurs. It's like planting a seed in the ground. At first you see nothing, but if you water it and give it sunlight, it grows into a beautiful plant. In meditation, pushing past the point of wanting to stop is like giving that seed the water and sunlight it needs to grow. In my own experiences, I've discovered something amazing about deep meditation. When you meditate deeply, it can feel like you've been plugged into an electric socket. This might sound a bit unusual, but it's a powerful way to describe what happens. Imagine the feeling of electricity flowing through your body. It's a sensation that's intense and full of energy. During deep meditation, you can experience something similar. It's like every cell in your body is suddenly lit up with energy. You might feel a warm, tingling sensation spreading through you, as if a powerful current is flowing through your entire being. This feeling can be incredibly strong, almost like a wave of electricity that energizes you from within. As this energy flows through you, it brings with it a profound sense of connection and love. This isn't just a regular feeling, it's a deep, all-encompassing experience. It's as if you are connected to something much larger than yourself, a sense of unity with the universe or a higher power. This feeling of connection can be deeply comforting and fulfilling. It's a reminder that you are not alone and that you are part of something greater. The surge of energy you feel during deep meditation is not just physical, it's also emotional and spiritual. It's a total experience that touches every part of you. This energy can make you feel more alive and vibrant. It's like a reset for your entire system, clearing away the fog and allowing you to see things more clearly. In these moments, you might also experience a sense of deep love. This love feels different from everyday feelings of affection. It's a universal love, one that's not bound by personal relationships or circumstances. It's a love that's all-encompassing, embracing you fully and making you feel at peace. This love is often accompanied by a sense of joy and contentment, as if you are exactly where you need to be. Deep meditation can also bring a heightened awareness. It's like your senses are sharper and you are more tuned in to your surroundings. This awareness can make you feel more connected to the world around you, as if you are more attuned to the subtle energies and vibrations of life. So if this video has come into your life, it is a sign that you are ready for this transformation. You are ready to open your heart, elevate your emotions, and create a new reality. Remember, your thoughts and feelings are powerful. They broadcast an electromagnetic signature that influences your entire life. By practicing these techniques and keeping a positive mindset, you can truly change your life. It might sound like a big promise, but it's entirely possible when you put in the effort and stay committed. Let's look at how this works and what it takes. First, it's important to understand the power of a positive state of mind. When you keep your thoughts and feelings positive, you send out a powerful energy into the universe. This energy helps to attract the experiences and outcomes you want. For example, if you think positively about your goals and feel excited about them, you're more likely to attract opportunities that align with those goals. Practicing these techniques means regularly focusing on positive thoughts and feelings. This could involve using affirmations, visualizations, or gratitude exercises. Affirmations are positive statements you repeat to yourself, like "I am successful" or "I am worthy of love." Visualizations involve imagining yourself achieving your goals, seeing it as if it's already happening. Gratitude exercises involve acknowledging and being thankful for the good things in your life. All of these practices help to build and maintain a positive state of mind. However, simply knowing about these techniques isn't enough. To really change your life, you need to practice them consistently. Just like learning a new skill, the more you practice, the better you get at it. If you want to become good at playing an instrument, you wouldn't just practice once and expect to be a great musician. The same applies here. Regular practice helps to reinforce positive thinking and build the momentum needed to make real changes in your life. Dedication is another key factor. Changing your life is not always easy. It requires commitment and persistence. There might be days when you feel discouraged or when things don't seem to be going your way. During these times, it's important to stay dedicated to your practice. Keep using the techniques and don't give up. Remember that change takes time, and each step you take brings you closer to your goals. An essential part of this journey is being willing to let go of old beliefs and patterns. Sometimes we hold on to beliefs that no longer serve us. These might be beliefs like, "I'm not good enough" or "I always fail." Letting go of these old beliefs is crucial for making room for new, positive ones. This can be challenging, but it's a necessary step. By releasing these outdated beliefs and patterns, you make space for new ways of thinking and new possibilities. You have the power within you to create the life you want. The universe is always listening, and it responds to your energy. When you align your thoughts and feelings with your desired outcomes, you begin to draw those experiences into your life. So take a moment to reflect on what you truly want. Visualize it clearly and feel the emotions of already having it. Broadcast that signature into the quantum field and watch as the universe responds. Trust in the process and know that you are a powerful creator. Everything you need is already within you. You have the ability to change your reality. It starts with a single thought, a single feeling, and a single intention. From there, you build momentum and your life begins to transform. Slip into delta, and that's called deep sleep, restorative sleep. People say to me, well, I really can't meditate. And I say, really, where do you meditate? Oh, in bed. Yeah, well, there you go. Get out of bed. You're fast-tracked to delta because you're going to go right to delta. So then what we noticed in our research, to finish that other thought, is that there comes a moment when you're in that coherent level of alpha and all of a sudden you slip into theta. And all of a sudden when theta turns on, all of a sudden you start seeing this amazing change take place. And the body becomes so relaxed and the energy centers, the sympathetic nervous system, switches on. Most of our thoughts and feelings come from our past experiences. They come from our memories. In fact, your brain is organized to reflect everything you know in your life. Your brain is a record of all the things you've learned and experienced to date. It's an artifact. And when you have an experience, when you're in the midst of an experience, all of your five senses plug you into the external environment. And as your brain is processing all of this vital sensory data, all of that information rushes back to the brain. And when it reaches the brain, it causes jungles of neurons to organize themselves into networks, to string into patterns, to reflect their interaction with their external environment. The moment those neurons organize into patterns, the brain makes a chemical, and that chemical is called a feeling or an emotion. And so experiences tend to create more long-term memories because it patterns or stamps or embosses networks of neurons into very specific patterns. And then the emotional quotient helps us to remember the event. So we learn something new intellectually. We also cause networks of neurons to form. I mean, the Nobel Prize laureate Kandel in the year 2000 found that when people learn just one bit of information, they double the number of connections in their brain from 1,300 connections to 2,600 connections. So if they didn't review that information or repeat it, the connections pruned apart. So we know then that learning semantic information begins to organize circuitry in the brain, and experiences enrich the brain. The end product of experience, of course, is the emotion, and it causes us to feel certain ways. You can remember where you were on 9/11. You can tell me who you were with, what time of day it was, what you were doing, because whatever you were seeing in that moment or hearing in that moment changed how you were feeling, and the moment you felt altered or you felt differently, significantly, your brain perked up and you paid attention to whatever caused that. And that event in and of itself is called a memory. So then most of our thoughts and feelings tend to be within the neural circuitry of the past and the emotions of the past chemically. So if you take a thought, thoughts are the language of the brain and feelings are the language of the body, and how you think and how you feel creates a state of being. So if you combine a thought and a feeling, a thought and a feeling, a thought and a feeling, and you have a series of good thoughts that are connected to a series of good feelings, that cycle of thinking and feeling creates what's called an attitude. When you begin to wrestle with your limitations and overcome them, you know, there's so much talk in the United States about self-love. People think self-love is getting a manicure or buying a sports car. That's not self-love, that's pleasure. Self-love is when you're sitting with yourself and you are working on overcoming your hardwired thoughts or beliefs or your emotional propensities that are connected to your past, and you are really working to overcome them. Right on the other side of your pain is freedom. Right on the other side of your fear is courage. Right on the other side of your sadness is joy. It's the same energy. It's just trapped in the body. When you stretch yourself past that point and you break free from the chains of those emotional addictions, the side effect of that is called joy. The body is liberated from that level of mind. When that happens, there's available energy to create with. So when you break through that, you begin to love yourself, you begin to respect yourself, and you begin to love and respect others because you see yourself in them. And now that you're free from it, you can understand them with compassion without knee-jerking in the same way. So the difficulty here is really making the time to do it. And if you began to think about a new way of being and you moved into a state where you said, I'm not going to get up until I am this person. Not only did you memorize it neurologically in your brain, but you allowed the thoughts that you were thinking to become the experience to the point that your body, as the unconscious mind, began to live in that future reality in the present moment. And when you got up, when mind and body were working together in that state of being, and you said, I'm going to maintain the state of being my entire day, and I don't care. Bring on the challenges, because I want to test my greatness. And you did that the entire day. The end of your day, when you finished your day, more than likely you'd have more energy than when you started. The literal translation of the word meditation in Tibetan means to become familiar with. The symbol means to become familiar with. So if you're becoming conscious of or familiar with your unconscious self to the point you're so conscious of your unconscious thoughts, so familiar with your unconscious habits, and so aware of your emotions that you would never let them go by unnoticed by you. There's no chance for you to return back to the old self, to know thyself. And then if you became familiar with a new self, because you neurologically fired and wired it in your brain, and you emotionally conditioned your body, and you were able to do it enough times, sooner or later, it would get easier and it would become more familiar to you, and you would be able to move into that state of being. By the way, a new state of being is a new personality, and a new personality is a new personal reality. One of the things about substances is that it actually helps to change chemistry in the brain and body. So there becomes a chemical dependence on it at that point. But the person who wants to change has to want to change. That's the first element. In other words, no one can make you change, but you have to find it in you to really see if this is what you want to do. I've studied people over the last 12 years. Why is it that one person, an old-timer, can look at his x-rays and see a spot on his lungs, and the doctor will say to him, hey George, you know that's a spot on your lungs. It's nothing now, but if you keep smoking, it will be. And that guy just takes his cigarettes, throws them in the trash, and he's done the next day. How do you explain that? He made the decision, and the decision was an experience, and it began to rewrite his chemistry and his biology. How can a person who moves into a state of religious ecstasy, a state of absolute faith, drink strychnine and not get poisoned by it? It's a decision. It's an energetic decision. It's how powerful the mind really is. People then who actually want to make the decision to change have to make the decision with firm intention. Once you understand the how-to, that you can't use your conscious mind to do this, you have to move beyond the analytical mind. When you understand brainwave patterns and when you slip into a different state of mind, that it's easier to do it. So most people then, 95% of who we are by the time we're 35 years old is a set of memorized habits and behaviors that become part of our identity or personality. So 5% of the conscious mind is trying to change 95% of what we've memorized, hardwired, become addicted to emotionally. So the person may want to think positively, but they've been feeling negatively and oiling those programs for the last 25 years. They might want a new life with new conditions, and as they use their mind, conscious mind, to focus on that, their subconscious mind, they've been programmed to feel guilty. That's mind and body in opposition. We have to begin to recondition the body to a new mind. So change isn't hard. It's just that you've got to get the manual to understand how to begin to unlearn and relearn, to break the habit of the old self and reinvent the new self. The latest research in neuroplasticity tells us we're not hardwired to be a certain way for the rest of our lives. The latest research in epigenetics says we're not doomed by our genes, that in fact we're marvels of adaptability and change. So as a person started to contemplate and think about who do I want to be when I open my eyes, what would it be like to be happy, what would it be like to live a new life? The frontal lobe looking out into the landscape of the entire brain because it has connections to the entire neocortex and it's got to resolve the problem. So it starts calling up different networks of neurons that are relevant to the question based on the knowledge the person learns or the experiences that they had, and it begins to seamlessly piece together this new understanding, and that's called intention. And so if you're reading a book about how to become more happy, if you're reading a book on how to be a leader in your life where you're studying the process, every time you learn something new, you add new connections to your brains and raw materials for you to imagine even more. The act of mentally rehearsing begins to install the neurological hardware in your brain to look like it's already happened. Now the brain is typically a record of the past, but the moment we install the neurological hardware, it becomes a map to the future, and you keep doing that. The hardware becomes a software program, which means you start thinking like a genius. You start acting like a happy person because there's no mystery there, because you installed the circuits. And then these people didn't wait for their wealth or their health to feel gratitude, and they feel to feel love and love for life, and they begin to feel those emotions ahead of the experience. And gravity is the unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between the experience and the life that creates the emotion, and their emotion that they're creating by thought alone. The body's believing it's living in the future, in the present moment, and the stronger the emotion that they feel, the more they're going to pay attention to the thoughts they're thinking, and now all of a sudden they're changing their biology from living in the past present reality to living in the future present reality. And I was so intrigued by this process that I went back to school to study it, because it was the answer in the internal process of rehearsing and imagining. They had long moments where they lost track of time and space, where when they opened their eyes they thought it was maybe 15-20 minutes later, and it was an hour and 15 minutes later. When we get into the present moment, there's a moment where you lose track of yourself, you forget about yourself, and only in the present moment do you have access, according to the quantum model of reality, to other possibilities. And when you're truly in the present moment, the generous present moment, that's the moment then that you are no longer living in the familiar past, the predictable future. And you realize that we have to get beyond our environment. And what's our environment made of? People, husbands, kids, bosses, objects, things, places. You got to get beyond your emotions, your body, your pain, your disease, and you got to get beyond this concept of linear time. So when we get beyond our body, our environment, and time, we become pure consciousness. And now that consciousness, we get to connect to the consciousness. All of a sudden I realized that when people are nobody, no one, nothing, nowhere, and no time, that's the moment. And if you could give 1 to 3 different things that we could think differently or eliminate when a thought comes to us or we react in a certain way, if there's something you think, if we eliminated 1, 2, or 3 things and we did this every day for 7 days, we would start to see incredible feelings of differently. We'd feel healthier, more lively, more loved. What would be those few things? Okay, well, most people, number 1, they get up in the morning and they check their cell phone, they check their text, their WhatsApp, their Facebook, they post something on Facebook, drive to work the same way, do the same thing. So they're in a program. They've actually lost their free will to the program. So if you start your day and you start your day with this simple question, what is the greatest ideal of myself that I can be today? You ask yourself that question. Now listen, your body's gonna go like, well, we've got to get a cup of coffee, and you've got to go, I'm tired, and you've got to go, Body, you're not the mind. I'm the mind right now. You're going to sit here, I'm going to feed you, you're going to get your coffee, you're going to do all those things, but right now, this is my time. You're going to obey me, right? So now the body's no longer the mind, you're the mind. And so when it wants to get up and you become aware of it, you return back to the present moment. Every time you do that, it's a victory, and you're changing some aspect of yourself. So then ask yourself, I do this all the time. Write down 4 thoughts that you're going to stay conscious of the whole day. I can't, it's too hard. You'd be surprised the moment you become conscious of what those thoughts are, how unconscious you've been to them all day, all for weeks on end. Write down what you speak, how you speak. 4 things you want to change, how you act, how do you act? Do you complain? Do you blame? Do you make excuses? Do you feel sorry for yourself? That's a victim consciousness. What emotions do you live by? Is it possible that you're so used to living by guilt and you don't even know it's guilt, it just feels like you? Do you allow your energy to drop? Become conscious of those states of mind and body and review them and say, this is the old self. Then say, what thoughts do I want to fire and wire in my brain? and start firing and wiring and start feeling it. What behaviors will I demonstrate today? What choices will I make? One day, one lifetime. Just like you did, rehearse them. Rehearse the whole entire thing. Begin to install the neurological hardware in your brain. And if you keep installing it, the hardware is going to become a software program, and you're going to start thinking and acting that way. And then here's the tough part. Can you teach your body emotionally what your future is going to feel like before it's made manifest? And don't get up until you feel that way. Now practice that for a few days, and then see if you can stay in that state and watch all of a sudden all those weird doors start opening for you. Synchronicities, whatever they are. Number 2, take up time at the end of your day. The end of your day before you lay down and give thanks for your life. Feel gratitude and really teach your body what it feels like. The emotional signature of gratitude. Gratitude means you're getting something. If I give you something that's of value, you would say thank you because you would feel it, right? So when you're receiving, you're giving thanks. So gratitude is the ultimate state of receiving. So then people only accept, believe, and surrender to the thoughts equal to their emotional state. So if you're in a state of gratitude, every thought's gonna make it right down into your body. If you're saying, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, and your body's programmed in negativity, it's saying, no, you're not, no, you're not, no, you're not. That thought's going to stop right here. So as you elevate your state, there are about 1,200 different chemical reactions that go on in the body that begin to restore and repair the body in a state of gratitude. And so we've done the research to prove that. 10 minutes and just feel it with all of your heart. That's it. And the third thing, and very important, take time. Whenever it is, sit down, close your eyes, and begin to just open your awareness to the space around you and just sense it and pay attention to it and become more aware of it. The act of opening your awareness begins to reduce the stress hormones and creates more coherent brainwave states. I'm doing it right now. It's just a practice. It's just a practice. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. Most of our thoughts and feelings come from our past experiences.